Now these lateral handstand walks are great for strengthening your balance, especially if you want to go to things like one arm handstands or just have a bigger circle of balance in the handstand. They can be done freestanding, they can be done up against the wall. They can be done on the floor if you need to start with, but I recommend you either use the yoga blocks that I'm using in this video, or if you're a bit more comfortable on your hands, go for handstand blocks. The tricky bit with the handstand blocks is that you need to be more accurate with your hand placement. When you use the yoga blocks, you can place your hands somewhere in this region, so there's a little bit more room for error. And again, if you don't use a block, you could just put some marks on the floor. There's obviously a much bigger room for error. Now I'm going to teach this today like you're going towards a one arm handstand. The same principles apply if you're not quite at the one arm handstand stage yet, and things are just going to happen a lot quicker and be a little bit messier. So to start with, just warm up your handstand on whatever you're going to use. So I'm using the yoga blocks. I'm kicking up to straight handstand and then playing with some straddle positions. I'm going to use straddle in my movements today. It's probably the easiest one to use, but this could be done in any handstand shape, and you could even change the shape as you go. I'm now going to play with a little bit of weight transfer just to take some weight out of one of the hands. So I'm going to look across at the working hand. I'm going to push the elbow in as I transfer weight and as I flag at the same time. And if you have it here, raise up onto fingertips, just trying to make this other hand as light as possible, but making sure that the elbow stays in and your shoulder stays on top of the hand. Hold for a few seconds and then do the other side. Now, if you don't have fingertips yet, that's fine. Just stay on the hand, but just feel some weight come out of that other hand. If there's no weight come out of the other hand, it's going to be impossible to transfer the weight to the other block. Okay, now we're going to add the third block in. So ideally these would be identical blocks, but they could be different things. So I could have a handstand block, I could have a yoga block. I could even go to the floor, but obviously if you're going to have different things, you might have different heights, which is going to change the challenge. Now getting the distance right is going to be quite a challenge. Basically you want to kick up as close as you can with your hands together, so when you reach over to the other block, you don't have that far to go. Then we're going to kick up to our two-arm handstand. I'm going to shift the weight across that right side, so I'm pushing the right elbow in, trying to keep the right shoulder on top of the hand. As I open to straddle, transfer the weight, so the sacrum is going close to being on top of the shoulder. Weight reduces out the left arm, I bend the elbow, try not to lift the left shoulder. And this is where it will change for everyone. So because I can do a one-arm handstand on my right side, I've got more time. I can move that hand across nice and slowly, not put any weight into the left hand until the hand reaches the block, and then I can transfer weight into the left arm. But if you're still working to the one-arm handstand and can't make that hand weightless yet, you're going to have to transfer it much quicker, and there's going to be more of like a jump and a quick transition, throwing the hand across, and there's going to be some weight shifting and moving around. So then when you get your left hand to the block, you might have to sort yourself out and find your balance again. So now we have this wide handstand. So now I need to shift the weight to the left hand side. Same principles apply. I'm going to look across towards the hand. I'm going to now move the left shoulder because it's not on top of the hand. I need to move the left shoulder until it's on top of the hand. I'm going to push the left elbow in towards the midline as I shift across and straddle, taking the sacrum on top of the shoulder. The right hand becomes lighter, and then I can just move the right hand over to the middle block, again finding balance, show control. If that feels okay, I could repeat the process in the opposite direction. So I transfer the weight to the left, keep the left elbow going towards the midline, make sure the shoulder stays on top of the hand, shift the weight, go to fingertip, go back to the right side, and then I'm back to the middle position again. So 3 blocks is really good because there's lots of transfers between left and right, and you're not actually going in one direction for too long. So technique wise, you could probably argue that 3 blocks is the sweet spot, so you can constantly work between that left and right hand side. Now I'm going to add 2 more blocks, so now I've got 5 blocks. Now when we start to add more and more blocks, the temptation is to work the dominant side. So I'm much stronger in my right for the one arm handstand, so I'm going to kick up on the right hand side and then work from the right to the left. So that's my easier direction. And then I'm punished because now when I go from my left to my right, I'm tired and I'm on my weaker side. I can get away with it here. So just be careful that you don't always work the dominant side and not the weaker side. So when I add more blocks, so here I've got like 9 or 10 blocks, I find it much easier to start on the weaker side, go through the hard ones first, and then try and get back on the stronger side. And then the way you can progress it, if you've only got 3 blocks, you can just see how many times you can go back and forth, side to side, or you could change positions. You could go to straight position, to diamond position, change positions as you go, or you could just add the number of blocks. I'm lucky at Aspen we have lots of the same blocks, so I'm not limited by the number, but if you are limited by the number, just see how many times you can go back or forth. If you are working towards the one arm handstand, make it really slow. Aim to have good technique before you transfer, and even pause for a few seconds in the one arm handstand as you go. Let me know how you go with this one. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated, and I'll speak to you next time. Thanks guys.